We're
live. Welcome to the second episode, I guess we'll call it, of Paulette and Becs Wine Lives. We are coming at you. We've got a wonderful woman with us tonight that Paulette will introduce in just a minute. But I just want to jump on and say grab a glass of wine, tea, water, whatever it is that suits you, and join us while we have a little chat.
Yes. Okay, before we introduce our beautiful guest, Janine, I'm going to cheers to all the water drinkers out there. I'm still drinking water. And I forgot to explain why last week, but I'm going to give you a quick lowdown of why I'm drinking the water. So my husband and I decided to do a water challenge this month. So for the whole month of April, and we're only allowed to drink water. That's it. Nothing added, nothing. And when we decided to do this whole Go Live thing, Bex and I didn't even think about it. And I was like, oh man, I can't even drink wine. And then I thought, oh, well, maybe just once a week I could do it. But no, I can't, because my husband and I are so incredibly competitive with each other. I can't be the one to crack first. So everyone bear with me. I'm going to be cheersing my water glass for the rest of April. So thank you to everybody. I would actually love if everybody who is drinking water can give me a wow. I would love that.
And if you're drinking wine, we'll just go with wine in general tonight. You can give me a love.
And for our beautiful guest, Janine, who is drinking tea tonight, give her a, I don't know.
A like.
What else do you have?
A like.
A love. No, what did you say? Give her a like.
Oh.
I'm the wow. I'm the wow. Bex is the love, and Janine is the like. How about that? Okay. And now, with further ado, I will introduce our awesome guest. I'm so excited to. Oh my god, my phone's ringing. Sorry, guys. So unprofessional. Wine lives. Anyways, I want to introduce our beautiful guest, Janine. She is an old friend of mine from years and years ago, and she recently posted an amazing video on her page, and I came across it, and it made me cry. It was so inspiring.
Amazing.
She has totally amazing. So anyways, the minute I watched it, I knew I wanted to ask her and see if she would be a guest on our little show here. And I was so excited and happy that she agreed. So yeah, Janine, we'd love to hear from you, and tell us a little bit about yourself first, and then we'll jump into what your whole video was all about.
All right. I'm Janine Hebert. I live here in Bonnyville, Alberta, but I have a Saskatchewan birth certificate, so I do consider myself a Saskatchewan girl. I have been married to Kevin it'll be 16 years this September, and funny enough, Paulette actually catered our wedding dinner. That was years ago. Yes.
Love it.
And it was, and people still talk about how awesome that meal was, which is kind of funny. But we have a daughter named Sophia. She is 11 years old, and she is on the autism spectrum. We found out she had, I was suspicious that she was autistic before she was even 2. She was 22 months, and she knew her alphabet by sight and sound without being coached. So that kind of through that, and she's like, yeah. And she's an occupational therapist in Lac La Biche, and she goes, no, you're joking. I said, no, she drew that. And she's like, there's something here. I don't think she meant that she was autistic or anything like that, but just her ability was uncanny. And we didn't think anything of it because we only have one child. So you had nothing else to compare anything to. And yeah, so that's kind of where everything really starts, I guess. for us, our story, this story, sort of, in a way.
Wow.
Okay, so the video that you had posted on your page,
Yeah.
can you tell us a little bit about what that was all about?
So, I've been a big Dave Ramsey follower since 2008. And if for those that don't know, Dave Ramsey is like someone who wants you to take control of your life and live a life of purpose and be debt free. And his motto has always been, you live like no one else, means give up all the stuff that everyone else is buying themselves right now, so later you can live like no one else. So those sacrifices you make early on in your life will reward you later on in life. And so, and that spoke to me because I guess it's not, I don't know, if I just noticed that Bonnieville's an oil town and everyone's trying to outdo somebody, be it in vehicle, house, or I don't know, clothing or whatever. And it can kind of, because I've never thought those are things that I wanted. I don't know. I think I've always kind of known that I always like small. Whether something I drove was new or used had no consequence in my life, because I've always known that money can't buy happiness. It just gives you different choices. So I've always known that. So when I found David Ramsey, I was all excited, and this is before Sophie would have only been a year old. So this is before we knew anything else was going to be coming down the pipe. But I really do believe that things are put in your place before you even know that there's going to be like shit that goes down. And I think that there's always things put out there in the universe as signs or something like that to help you in your journey.
Absolutely.
So the Dave Ramsey show had put out a thing on their show saying, if you're debt free, so debt free can mean two things. Debt free can mean that you no longer have a house, you have all your consumer debt is gone, or it can mean that you are consumer debt free. That is what we are. We have 2 years left on our house, but we will be completely debt free in 2 years. But we are consumer debt free. We do not have a card payment, credit card payment, skidoos, boats, trailers, anything like that. And what that does is frees up income for you to make some decisions about what you really want your life to look like. Be that vacations, donating to charities that are important to you, supporting your kids going through college. Like that's the whole thing, is that you can make your life your own journey, and it doesn't have to be what anyone else is doing, because it's not what other people are doing does not have anything to do with you. It's their journey. So why get offended by other people making decisions? Because at the end of the day, you have to do what you feel is right for your own family.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
So when I watched the video, I was like super inspired by some of the things that you guys have chosen to do as a family. And we're gonna actually, I think Beck's right, we're gonna put the link to the video in the comments, right?
Oh, yeah.
We'll do that after. Yeah, we'll do that after. So if you guys want to actually go in and watch the video after, you can. But Janine, if you kind of want to give us a few examples of what you guys have been able to do because of the whole debt repayment thing, because you guys have been able to get rid of some of that debt. What are some of the things that you guys have done as a family?
We have given to the food bank on numerous occasions, like writing checks for anywhere from $1,500 up to $2,500 on numerous occasions. We usually do 2 big donations a year to the food bank, usually spring and fall, like Thanksgiving and then like springtime. We're big supporters of the Bonnieville and District SPCA. I'm sure we've donated over the last 6 years probably around $15,000.
Crazy.
We've also purchased. We made a donation to the Duke School music program because I heard that Mrs. Kissel was wanting to buy guitars. So I asked her one day, how much money do you need? And she said that, well, because they had been fundraising. I think it was a hot dog fundraiser I had helped out with for her or whatever. And I had just asked her after that fundraiser, well, how much do you need? And she had said $2,000. So then the next day I just brought her a check. We've bought a milk fridge for the food, for Duke School or whatever to hold, like, I don't know if I forget if it holds 2 weeks worth of milk. I can't even remember now. Like, that was like 5 years ago already. But there's there's just too many things to really count. I'm sure I forgot a whole bunch of things. Oh, the Bonnyville Municipal Library. I love making donations to that place so they can buy new books, or if I find a good series that I've bought for the library at Duke School, I'll buy that series and donate it to the public library. And then it's just like things like that. It's like I don't know. There's a lot of it, but I don't want it to be about how much we've done. These are all choices we were able to make because we didn't have payments coming out for other things. And that's how we are choosing to live our life. Because these are things that I think you get what you put out there. I think if you live with a closed hand, nothing can come in and nothing can go out. But if you go out into the world with an open palm, things leave, but you get way back more than you ever put out there. So I try to live life like that. And I also believe that when you live in a place of gratitude, you can't live in a hateful perspective. They can't coincide together. They just can't.
Absolutely. Do you find that before you found Dave Ramsey and all of his information that you found in 2008, that you weren't having these feelings of gratitude? Like, not debt-free? Was it a lot of stress? And then how was the transition finding that? Like, was it a difficult transition? Like, once you started figuring out, like, oh, this is sort of what he's talking about, was it a hard one, or was it like, boom, that clicked for me, and I know that's how I want to live my life? Like, was it a...
I would definitely say that with a decision like that comes a lot of peace, because when did that whole... were we going through kind of a downturn a little bit in 2008 too? Was there kind of a lull? Or the states were having problem with housing or something, and it was like a trickle-down effect for us. And the thought, what I was thinking about was when you didn't have any payments, if you had to work at a like minimum wage job, you could still survive with no house payment. If all you had were your bills to run your house and put gas in your car and food in your kid's stomach and stuff like that, you could live off of $2,500 a month.
Yep.
And be okay.
Right. Absolutely.
But I don't think there's a lot of families that could do that right now. Like, I think a lot of people are struggling and stuff, and I always hope that people can just find, like, what are the real things in your life that bring you true joy? Because I seriously believe that all the best things in life are free. Like the love of your kids, the relationship with your spouse, your relationship with your friends, your relationship with your church. Like, I think all the best things in life really are free. And if you look at it from that perspective, you really don't give a crap of what you don't own anymore.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
I mean, I know for us, it's just been about a year since we really focused on the gratitude thing, but so much of what a lot of people fall into, like you said, with people in Bonnyville as well, is you buy all the toys and you buy all the things because they give you that short-term gratification and satisfaction of like, oh, I want this is going to make me feel so great. And you buy all these things, but then you end up in debt, and it's just like you keep buying and buying, and you're not necessarily living with your means. Yes. But once you figure out how to live within your means, regardless of your job and say your wage, there's a way to find happiness and a way to be grateful for everything you have. And it's amazing, like you said, like the change that comes and how things just kind of blossom. Like, people
probably won't understand that because it's a walk that people have to get
Absolutely.
to understand it. So I could be telling people till they're blue in the face, but unless they walk the walk themselves, they're not going to understand how it feels to sleep 9 hours a night and know that you aren't worried that your kid isn't going to be fed, or you're not going to lose your house, or your car's not going to be repossessed, or whatever someone may be going through. Someone made a comment on the Dave Ramsey channel about, wow, she must really sleep well at night. Yes, I do. Really, really well. and and yeah, I thank God for the health of my family and in my life, and I think I'm blessed, I guess. Like, I have a 5-year-old car that I drive that I paid cash for, and we live in a 40-year-old house, which will be paid off in 2 years. But it doesn't. That's not stuff that is important to me. I mean, everyone needs a safe home and stuff like that, but how old it is or how big it is doesn't register with importance with me. I think I could live in one of those Alaskan cabins, one room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as long as I had my
totally. No, go ahead.
No, I think I do better, and my husband and my daughter do better in simple situations. Like, we love to be at the lake camping. So you can imagine her wardrobe style is camping chic, which is pretty much just a bunny hug and shorts or leggings all year round.
Yeah. Love it.
That's awesome.
Well, the thing that just got me right in the feels when I watched your video is, which, yes, you have to tell us about that. Tell us about the program that you created.
Yes.
At the school. I want everyone to hear about this, because this is the best part.
Okay, so I brought the program Blessings in a Backpack to Bonnieville 4 years ago. This will be the end of our 4th year here. And how it came about was I was doing hot lunch at Duclos School, and back when we did hot lunch, like this, Sophie would have been in kindergarten, so five years ago, I guess. We used to make our own stuff from scratch. Now we just order out, right? Or they just order out, whatever. But not before. Before, you would go in and do 2 full days of prep to make salads or whatever. And I would see kids come in to eat breakfast, and they always seemed really shy and stuff. And of course, I would always try to be like, hey, come in, and, my usual annoying self. And I just started, and at the same time we were having problems with Sophia. We could see there was autistic tendencies, and she had an amazing kindergarten teacher who I just felt so bad for, because she had Sophia, and then she had a few other behavioral kids in her class, and she had no aide in her class. And that woman worked that year, I swear to God, because she would call me and she's like, Sophia's hiding under a table again. So I would go and pick her up because she was in full meltdown. And this was before we even had an official diagnosis. It took us 2 years to get into the Glenrose. So she wasn't officially diagnosed until the summer. She was 7.5. So right before grade 2 started, we got our official diagnosis. And by then I had end of grade 1, I was already like, how can I give back to Duclos School? That's really how that started, and give back to kids and stuff like that. And then I thought, well, what are these kids eating on weekends that are coming in and using this breakfast program? Like, what happens on weekends? Or like, do they go hungry for the full 2 days? These are things like in your mind that you don't tell anyone that you're thinking these things, but it's just something that just always sat with me because I witnessed them coming to eat breakfast. So I did some research and I found that there was blessings in a backpack running in 5 provinces. Airdrie was the only one in Alberta at the time. I don't actually know currently if there is other towns besides Bonnyville and Airdrie. There possibly could be. I haven't been on the website in a little bit. But I wanted to do this, and to do this, you had to guarantee that you will stay in the town and you had the funds to cover 3 full school years, which we did. So, I started by having meetings at 4 schools, and it was like me bringing in like 2 lunches, 2 breakfast snacks, juice box, fruit, and putting them in a bag and being like, I have this idea for weekend for kids that are facing food insecurity. Do you have a need for this? And anyway, so I show up to the meetings where the whole faculty's there at Duclos School, so 20 people, and I'm not a public speaker in any way. But I felt really passionate about all kids eating. Food is a right, it is not a privilege in my book. And the same thing happened at Notre Dame Elementary. I met with the principal, the student liaison, the vice principal, and counselor, and I'm like, okay, well, there's something here. And we started the following October, and we haven't looked back. The least amount of kids I've ever had on my program was 16. I think I had 16, and the most I've ever had was 39.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So can you tell us how it works? So you go into the schools and you just do it anonymously? Is that how it works?
So downstairs in my house, I actually have like a food pantry going on in one of my storage rooms. So every Wednesday, I will make up food bags. And I'm sorry I don't actually have one. I didn't even think of that. I should have made one up to show you guys what it looks like. But inside each, so imagine a large Ziploc bag full of like those 3 oatmeal packets, 2 fruit cups, a banana, a 100% juice box. So maybe a thing of Kraft dinner and then a soup, or canned spaghetti with a soup, and then soup crackers. Usually I'll throw in single serve packets of peanut butter and jelly. So if kids want to turn their soup crackers into peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, that's totally cool. That's what I pretty much lived on when I was a kid. Was peanut butter and jam. And there'll be like granola bars or Rice Krispie treats, but every bag usually has anywhere from 12 to 14 items in that bag. So it should be like a day or day and a half of food. Like it's like a safety net kind of thing. So I drop those off at the school every Thursday morning. And so they all go, I take them right to the front desk, like at each school. And the secretaries, I believe, are the ones, as far as I know, when the kids are out for recess, I believe they are going and they deposit those food bags into their existing backpacks. So other kids don't even know. I don't know any of the kids personally. And I think that's why I'm such a fan of this program, is because it is so secret. Like, I don't need to know anyone's name. I just need to know how many food bags do you need this week, and that's it. I do my job, and then you guys take care of the rest of it.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So,
and then what really doesn't even feel singled out or anything, like if it was to bother them. Like, that's amazing.
Well, exactly. See, how they do it in like inner city Toronto schools or whatever, you have about half of the population of that school on the backpack program there, right? Like, so it's actually called Isthmus now. It went through a name change last July. And all it means is like, it's like a metaphor for bridging the gap between hunger and the weekend when the kids cannot utilize the school programs, right? That's all that this backpack program does for the weekends. So they actually have actual backpacks. So the kids would be like going to school or coming home from school every Thursday with 2 backpacks. And I'm like, no, that's That's like, why does this kid carry 2 backpacks on one day of the week? Like, I told him I wasn't going to do that. I said, I want to do just plastic bags that go inside of backpacks they already own. I said, I want to keep this as quiet and on the down low as we can to keep families like secure and stuff, because let's face it, there's we still have some growth to do when it comes to this kind of stuff, and in judgment and stuff like that. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
I think that's amazing.
I was totally blown away by it. And I know Janine is a very humble person. And you're not all about, you don't want it to be about, oh, look what I did kind of thing.
No,
but I
no,
think
not.
it's such it's so incredible to be able, like, seriously, that's like my life goals, is to be able to be in a place financially where we're able to do stuff like that and give back. Because really, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, right? And like you said, when you give, sorry.
No,
you were saying earlier, you said when you give, you get back like 10 times, right? That is like, yeah. God, man, I love you. That totally inspired me. And I hope that it inspires other people to do the same, right?
Well, I think after this video came out, I was like super embarrassed 3 weeks ago, and I was like, oh my God. I wasn't even going to I wasn't even going to post it on my Facebook page that it even happened. And then my powerlifting coach is like, people need to know that this program is in the community so they can support it and keep it here.
Yes.
And I never looked at it from that point of view. I just didn't, because I was worried that people would see it as like look at someone's trying to get attention or something, but it's not like that at all. No one feels that way at all. I've had people like emailing me, I seen you on Dave Ramsey, and what can I do? How do I start this program in my town? And so if I get one person that can donate to a charity like this, or support one, or start one, or whatever, it's more than done its job, and I'm not embarrassed about it anymore.
Good. I'm so glad. Because at the end of the day, like Bex and I were talking about the last Go Live that we did, and we were kind of explaining about what our idea for this whole thing was going to be, is that we just want to share stuff like this. There's so much negative in the world right now. You turn the news on and it's just exhausting. Like, it literally sucks the life out of me to watch the news. And I want to see more stuff like this. I want to see stuff that inspires me to be a better person. And like, oh, dude, seriously. You got me right in the feels. And I don't know if you guys can see the comments or not, but we have so many awesome comments.
I can't see anything. I can't see Bex. All I can see is your face and a little wedding picture of you and your husband. That's all I see.
Okay. I just clicked on one. Can you guys see it?
I can't see nothing.
On a comment.
And I'm scared to touch my phone, and I'll disconnect you because I'm really not tech savvy at all. I'll be like, oh, and she's gone. But if anyone has a question, I can take questions if you guys do that. Whatever you guys want to do, you guys, I'll just go by your lead.
It would be great if anyone watching. We've got, I think, a few people on right now. We'll give a shout out to Mickey, Margaret, Amanda, Denise, Jessica. Let's see who else is on here. Leanne, Carl, Jerry, and Kent. The hubby's popped on.
Oh, isn't that lovely?
Yes.
Oh, there's just so much love for you.
Dropping comments, dropping us some love.
Yes, definitely.
And if anybody has any,
we had some more questions for you.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say, Rebecca or Bex this week, she messaged me and she told me to watch the new Drake video. Of God's Plan. And then I messaged Janine the other day and told her, oh my God, you need to watch this. And I don't know if anybody out there has seen the new Drake video for his song God's Plan.
Yes.
But yes, you guys definitely need to watch it. It was so inspiring. And the first person I thought of was Janine. And I was like, oh my God. I
Well,
have
actually,
to
I think
message
we
her.
were,
She's gonna love this.
I think we were talking
You're-
about Janine, and we were like, originally we were like, who are we gonna have on our first like little interview kind of chat? And both of us instantly we said you, and then
Aw.
Yes.
we saw Drake's video, and we were like, this is just like her.
No.
So for
But
those
no.
of you that haven't seen it, yeah, so for those of you who haven't seen it yet, Drake has a video for his song God's Plan, and it's basically he takes the amount that he's going to spend on the actual shooting of the video,
He's like
the
over $1
budget for
million.
the video. Yeah, and all he just drops it to change people's lives. So like he shows up to a grocery store and tells everybody in the store, whatever you guys put in your baskets, it's on me. And like you just gotta see the look on these people's faces. Are like, what? Oh my god! And then people are filling up their cards.
Yeah.
And then there's another one. He gives a girl a $50,000 scholarship to go to school. He's handing out cash to people and like people who really need it. And like I just keep thinking, like the minute I saw it, I was like, oh my god. Seriously, that is like my life goal, is to be able to be in a position where I can totally change somebody's life.
Yeah.
Because for me, like that is what it's all about, right? Like,
but even recognizing it doesn't have to be a $50,000 donation. It can be a small donation that can go a long ways for someone. Yeah.
well, like Janine was saying, she bought a fridge. She bought a fridge for the milk program at the school. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be huge. Like, I just. Cheers. Let's have a cheers.
He's got a lot of words. Let's have a cheer.
I'll have tea.
Oh man.
There you go.
So I know a lot of we focus a lot on self-care. Do you do that, Janine? How important is self-care for yourself?
It's huge. It's huge. And self-care for me would be 4 powerlifting sessions a week at about an hour and a half to 2 hours per session. So I usually weightlift anywhere from 6 to 8 hours a week hardcore. And then I get deep tissue massages because I get a lot of kinks because I'm turning 38 this year. Things are not as flexible as they used to be in my teen years. But I look at powerlifting as a metaphor for life. Anytime heavy shit lifts you down or pulls you down, you just got to get up and pick it back up again, which is a deadlift, pretty much, or a really deep squat. My husband, people have asked me, what is your husband? Are you stronger than your husband? Yes. Very much stronger than my husband. I can currently lift around 800 pounds between my 3 lifts. And you know what? And people ask him, and he couldn't be more proud. When he came to my first powerlifting meet in Edmonton last month, I competed at Edmonton Oil Cup, wearing the t-shirt, funny enough.
Love it.
I placed first in my weight class, which qualified me to compete in Alberta Provincials in the summer. So that's what all the hardcore training's for. But he couldn't be more proud. He really can't. And people ask him, is your wife stronger than you? And he'll say, shit, yeah. Have you seen her lift?
That's awesome.
And he couldn't be more supportive. And you know why? It's because he knows that when I get to go and do that time for myself, by myself, it is a mental health boost. And I am my best when I take care of me. I am my best for my husband, for my daughter, for my community. When I give time to me first, then I have that much more energy to give to everybody else. And it works for me. Whatever your self-care is, it can be anything. For me, is powerlifting, and I wish I would have discovered it 20 years ago, but I know it now, and I think I'm going to do this until I'm 100, or until they put me in the grave anyway. I'm inspired, and there's a thing. Women in their 70s compete at world championships squatting 400 pounds. I mean, how awesome is that?
So cool.
In 40 years, I could be squatting 400 pounds. And people, it probably sounds like the stupidest thing on earth, but does anyone remember what it was like? I already told Paulette this through our phone call 2 days ago. When you were 18 and dressed up to go out with your girlfriends and you were looking smoking because you were going to find yourself a man. I didn't find anyone until a year later, but that was my husband. Like, if it's that kind of confidence, that's what I feel when I lift, but I look like Gollum. Like sweaty. Things are like stuck and my hair's stuck in between a weight and all that kind of, but that's what it feels like for me. And I look like crap, but I feel amazing. And nobody can take that feeling from you.
Yeah. That's
Exactly,
awesome.
right?
Oh, I love it.
It fills your cup.
Oh, like I can leave there like, okay, so like I said, I'm a hurting unit from today, but my spirit is strong. And I'll take that. I can deal with having a sore body from front squats, but my mind is happy and everything. I don't know if anyone's ever noticed, but in our house is a place of positivity. We do not call each other down. My husband and I have never sworn at each other in a fight, and we've been together. It'll be 19 years. We've been together this year. Oh, next month it'll be 19 years that we've been together, and not once has he ever called me the B word or the C word, God forbid, and I have never called him anything derogatory or anything like that. My daughter now can pick up on unhealthy relationships because unfortunately there has been an unhealthy relationship in our family with other people, and she will come home from being somewhere and she'll be like, that's not how you're supposed to talk to someone that you respect. And I said to my husband, I'm like, we're doing something right. She gets to see what a healthy spousal relationship looks like. That doesn't mean you don't get into disagreements. It just means that you don't fight dirty. You shouldn't disrespect the person that you swore to love for the rest of your life. I don't understand it at all.
Yeah. That's powerful for sure.
And when you're filling your cup up and you're taking time for yourself, then you're in a much better position not to be getting into those fights all the time either, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
It's important for both sides. It's important for guys to have guys' night and girls to have girls' night. And
Amen.
Your you time, like you said, your powerlifting thing, right?
Yeah. Kevin loves to fish. He could spend 6 hours out in the boat, going out at 6 a.m. to go fish for 6 hours straight.
Yeah.
And that's what he tells people. My wife likes to lift heavy weights. I like to fish and drink beer. And it works for us.
It's the perfect team.
We're the perfect team. And I'm the DD because I don't drink on purpose.
Well, there you go. Okay, so
I actually had one more question.
Yes.
If we can do that. I know in your video with the show when they did your interview, you talked about finding your purpose. Have you always sort of known what your purpose was, or was that quite a journey to discover where and what you wanted to do for your purpose? Like what your purpose
No, I am not a college educated person. I graduated from high school, and as my mom and dad will tell you, thank you, Jesus, that even happened, because that was a rough 3 years. I'll be completely honest about that. I think as a person, as you are supposed to ever evolve every decade that you get older, your purpose should change as your life changes, because circumstances change. So no, while 10 years ago I didn't set out to start something that would help other people, things that have happened in my life's plan with my daughter being autistic and in that have helped my brain evolve into thinking of other people before just thinking of myself. And I think that's all like spiritual growth, and I think it all plays a part in how you grow up as a human. I think that every decade, I'm looking forward to turning 40 in a couple of years, because I think you're supposed to be a better version of yourself. I think you're supposed to learn something with each decade. Like, no one ever says, oh, thank God I peaked in high school. Like, nobody says that, but we all know people that did. And you're like, oh, God. It's just, you know, I think we're supposed to keep evolving. I think it would be terrible that I hit 70 and I'm still like in my 30s acting like, or I hope I've learned something. I don't know.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more that everything sort of leads up to where you're going, and your purpose definitely changes. Just like as your goals change as you progress in life, then things start to happen towards your goal, and then maybe your goal actually changes because of where you're ending up based on the first initial plan. Like it can absolutely change always.
See, I will share a little thing that I haven't shared with anyone, just my husband. We've shared this with. In the next 5 years, I would really like to start a scholarship program for at-risk teens going off to post-secondary. I would like to help kids that have had a trauma in their background. I am a sexual abuse survivor, and you wear that. You wear that like a scarlet letter, even though it's not your fault. But it took me like a lot of years to be okay with me. Like, do you know, 14 was hard. Like, I tried committing suicide when I was 14, because when you have some kind of trauma, like that happening when I was 4 and 5 years old, you wear that and you think everyone else can see it on you. And that's very shaming. And it just eats you up. And I had told a girlfriend that being in a depression or being suicidal is like tunnel vision. You don't do it to hurt anybody else or anything like that. But it's just, you don't see an end to how your pain is. You just don't see yourself getting better. It's tunnel vision. But I'm very open to talking about that with people, because everyone's had a dark place, I think, for the most part. Someone's had something they've had to work through. And you will come out. It just takes a lot of time, and you just have to give yourself some grace and stuff like that, because I think all of us are meant to move mountains, one way, shape, or form, whatever that looks like. I just think if you can, it definitely helps to talk about it. I didn't tell my parents until I think I had already graduated from high school. And now I can freely talk about it. My brothers know all about it and stuff like that, because there's no shame there with it. I'm not ashamed of it. It's just something that happened to me, unfortunately, and it happens to a lot of us, unfortunately. And I think when you can talk about it, it takes the power away of it. Like, you can start to heal and stuff like that. And I have no idea where the hell I was going with this. I still have gym brain.
It was on your goal.
Oh, Lord.
We talked about goals, and you want to bring it into a scholarship.
Yes, thank you. Thanks for getting me back on track again. I want to offer up a scholarship. Like, I'm thinking like $5,000 or whatever, one for a boy and one for a girl. And I want it to be kids that have had to struggle through something. And I would love them to write me write a letter. Why do you want this scholarship? What do you want to do with your life? And start to take their lives more seriously, and know that they can carve out whatever kind of future they want. You don't need to base your future on your past. You don't need to do that.
100%. I cannot say that enough. That is so important that people hear that. And can I just say that for you as a mom, as a woman, you are, and whether you want to believe it or not, you are a huge role model to so many people out there. Like, people watching this video, someone is going to relate to you, and they're going to hear it and think, oh my God, okay, it's not just me, right? Yeah. I just think it's so incredible the way that you've chosen to change your perspective, because like you said, when you were 14, things were a whole lot different, right?
Yes.
And Janine and I we had actually had a conversation last week. We went for coffee and we were talking about how for us, we're spiritual people. So for us, God puts certain things in your life at a certain time for a certain reason. And I don't know about any of you, but that's how I feel like for myself. I've been working really hard, and I know Bex, you and Kent are the same thing. You guys have been working hard to get to know yourselves and really learn to love yourselves so that you can be better people for your kids and share that with the world, right? So I just think that you're awesome. You're both awesome. I just love you both. And I feel
You're
like this
fabulous
message
too.
is far. What's that?
I said you're fabulous too.
Oh, stop it.
Oh, crazy.
Okay, well, I just looked at the time and it's 48 minutes, but I don't want to stop talking.
Thank you to those who have tuned in this whole time and taken your time to listen to us and join us in our discussion. Janine has been absolutely incredible. You've provided so much value. I'm so happy to have met you, even though you can't see my face. I can see you.
I seen you in your last week's video though, so you're gorgeous.
Oh gosh.
See, now you have to watch the replay. You're gonna have to watch the replay so you can actually see each other because you're actually next to each other right now.
Side by side.
Yes.
Well, I really hope that I did your program justice because, like I said, my brain's a little loopy from powerlifting today. Can you imagine what it would be like if I drank? Oh, God.
Well, we very much appreciate you coming on here with us. That was absolutely amazing. Yes. And one last thing that we end each one of these with is something you did for yourself today. Now, you've already answered that because you did your powerlifting. But Paulette, what was it you did for yourself today?
Oh, what did I do today? Shit, I didn't even think about it. Oh, this morning, I was reading my book. Just hang on. I'm going to get my book. I want to show you it. So you answer yours. I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. My parents arrived here last night because Kent and I are headed to a course on Saturday. And so my parents are staying here for a week looking after our son and our 2 dogs. So my mom and I went for pedicures today.
Nice.
Yes, it was lovely. So good. We're going to summer hot, so I get to wear open-toe shoes now.
Yes, bring on the summer sandals.
Yes.
Yes. This morning, when the kids got on the bus this morning, I read my book. So I'm reading this fancy book right now. I don't know if you guys can see it.
Oh,
got it.
It's a really good one. So if anybody is looking for a good read, pick that one up.
Yeah.
I always leave it face down though, so the kids don't look at what the title is. Because I feel that's bad parenting.
Because they can read now.
Yeah.
Even just blurring out one letter, it doesn't work anymore with kids.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too funny.
Okay, well, again, thank you everybody for tuning in to our beautiful show, and thanks again, Janine, for sharing all the love with us. I know there's so many people that are going to, and I can't wait for you to go read the comments because there's so many awesome comments. So
yes,
I will definitely do that. So thanks for everyone tuning in and meeting me. I'm really excited to be able to share our family's personal journey, and I wish you nothing but love in your own journeys, and just keep on keeping on.
Thanks.
Awesome.
Sister.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, we were going to come back. We're going to skip a week because next week the beautiful Becs and her wonderful husband Kent are off to an exciting course called Activate. And so I think we're going to talk about that when they come back. Is that right?
We will hopefully have a bunch of value to drop on all of you next week.
Oh, I'm so excited. In 2 weeks. Okay, love and appreciate you guys, and we will see you all on the next one.
Yes.
Take care.
Yeah.
Bye.
And now we wait for it to shut off.
Not again.